Hey, I just want to give a shout out to all my 29 subscribers out there for being on my channel or looking at my videos on my channel, Live to Fish 64. Just want to make sure I give some shout out to everybody and say thanks. I know it's not a lot, but I'm hoping for more. So keep watching. I've got another new motor coming up. So it's a 1973, I believe, two-stroke Mercury. So stay tuned, and you'll see what's going on with that. It's a real beautiful motor. Paint looks pristine on it. The fella I met on YouTube, or not YouTube, I'm sorry, Facebook. He's actually coming over. He's dropped the motor off to my garage, and we're gonna look at it together. And he says it hasn't been running for probably over 5 years. He bought it from a fella that he knew, but they got a real good price on it, and just wanted to make sure that it's up and running okay for this season. So we're gonna bring it back to life, and hopefully you'll get to see that. Anyway, stay tuned and keep watching. I just want to say one thing about the coronavirus. I hope everybody stays safe, keeps their distance. I'm going to do some fishing, probably with this fella that I met from Facebook, and we're going to hit the lake and do some fishing, but we're going to stay our 6 feet away for sure. We both seem to be pretty healthy, and maybe I can get some photos of us walleye fishing out on the Detroit River tomorrow. So that's kind of what I'm planning for tomorrow. And when the parts come in for this motor, we're going to take a look at it, see what it needs, and then maybe next week work on that as well. So in the meantime, I'm gonna show you the motor, and stay tuned, and I can get that ready for you real soon here. So I'm driving to the garage now, so maybe we can take a look at it together. Okay. Here we are. Well, I just thought I'd show you. This is my Boston Whaler. It's a 2001. And this is what I live for, to go fishing. So hopefully this weekend, or maybe I can take her out this weekend with my son, and we can do a little fishing with this. It's got a 115 Merc on the back. It's a saltwater version. So I just thought I'd show that off a little bit. You know, it's pretty old now. I guess this is considered vintage at 18 years old, but I've taken pretty good care of her, and I'm waiting on retirement so I can use it a lot more. I've probably got under 100 hours on this boat, and I'd certainly like to use it more. But anyway, looking at the motor that we're working on now, as you can see, well, that's a beauty, isn't it? 20 horse Mercury, 1976 maybe. I'm not sure. I'd have to look her up to find out. It's a 20 horse, 200 is the model. But we're still looking at what year it is, and I've got the cowling off. The cowling is under those rags down there on the ground, and it's just a beautiful motor. I mean, everything is just spotless on this thing. Paint is pristine. This is a really nice motor. We took the carburetor off already. I wish I could have gotten that filmed, but we just took the carburetor off, and we're trying to assess what we need for it. Maybe a needle and seat. We've got it under here. This is the carburetor and fuel pump assembly. So there's the bowl, the back of the carburetor, and of course the butterflies in there. But we're thinking once we get this apart, we've already had the cover off here, the bowl. We've got to get some new gaskets for it and try to get that back together. And I think the owner of the motor is going to be wanting to change out the fuel system on it because of it's got what they call what kind of connectors? It's bayonet type connectors for the gas tank, and he does not like them. We were having an issue with fuel delivery, getting it from the tank to the carburetor with the fuel line that we have, and that fuel line is over here. I'm going to show it to you. Maybe somebody out there can tell me if this type of fuel system is, well, maybe this, oh, here it is, yes. Here we are. This is the fuel system, and that's the Mercury covering for the it's just the paint is just so nice on this motor. I wish I could find a motor like that for my boat. I'd like to get a kicker motor, maybe a 4-stroke Mercury for my boat, and hook her up on the other side and get a kicker, because that would be almost the right size. It's a little big for what I want, but if anybody knows anything about these connectors, I mean, why we would not be getting fuel from this type of a connector to from the gas tank to the carburetor. It's very strange. We kept pumping the bulb, it would not get hard. We could not get any pressure out of it. It kept pumping air back to the tank. I'm not real familiar with this system, so the owner wants to change them out, make them more like Evinrude type connectors like these, and put this on his Mercury, and then change the connector on the tank as well, and then maybe buy a new fuel or a new fuel line. But anyway, glad you were watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If anybody knows anything about these motors, you can comment, give me some insight, because I'm telling you, it's kind of confusing. We're trying to get her together, but we got to wait on parts now. Once we get the parts, we'll be able to put that carburetor back together and slap it all back together. But man, if you appreciate motors, you'll appreciate this one, because this is just a beauty. So anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and we'll talk to you again. Maybe I can film this when we put it back together. So stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen. What you didn't see on camera is the compression check that I did and the spark test. Both were very good. We had 130 pounds even on each cylinder, and the spark check showed very good spark. So the motor looks like it's in very good shape, and we'll proceed with getting new parts ordered for it and put it back together, and that's what you'll see in the next show.